The Carolina Panthers didn't just lose in New England, they were humiliated. This wasn't a tough road loss, this was a collapse. A reminder to every fan that this team is still miles away from being ready to compete. From the opening kick, it was clear. The Panthers weren't just outplayed. They were outcoached, outworked, and outmuscled in every single phase of football. The Patriots didn't just beat Carolina, they exposed them. Special teams gave up a back-breaking punt return touchdown. The defense missed tackles like it was a practice scrimmage. And the offense? It had no answers, no rhythm, and no identity. It was the kind of performance that makes fans ask dangerous questions. Not just about the players, but about leadership. Is this the right staff? Is this the right direction? Is this the right foundation for the future? Think about it. Panthers fans still remember 2015, when that defense flew to the football with precision, when every tackle, every pursuit angle, every hit looked sharper than the opponent's. This was the opposite. Players weren't bringing guys down, they were dragging with them like human sleds toward the end zone. A defense once feared across the league looked like it had forgotten the basics. And the offense, missing veteran leadership and a true security blanket for Bryce Young, looked broken. The receivers aren't reliable. The run game isn't explosive. And without balance, without confidence, Young has no one to lean on. No Adam Thielen to bail him out. No JT Sanders as a steady outlet. Right now, it feels like Bryce has been handed the weakest supporting cast of his young career. This wasn't just a loss. It was a reality check. That 30-0 win against Atlanta last week? It meant nothing, because good teams build on wins. Bad teams follow them up with disasters. And on Sunday, the Panthers looked like exactly what they don't want to admit they are: an inconsistent, fragile football team. Now the real question is, how long before the frustration turns into something bigger? How long before even the fans stop believing? Here's the hard truth. Bryce Young was never supposed to be Cam Newton, but right now that comparison is haunting every Panthers fan. When Cam stepped onto the field, he was a tractor, dragging the offense, dragging average receivers, dragging an entire franchise on his back and pulling them all the way to a Super Bowl. Ted Ginn Jr. and Philly Brown didn't look like world beaters, but Cam made them look good. That was his greatness. Bryce? He's not that. At least not yet. Bryce is a trailer, not a tractor. He doesn't pull the team pulls him. And when the team collapses, Bryce goes down with it. That's the harsh reality fans are facing in year 3. The weapons around him don't help. Adam Thielen is gone. Jalen Coker is hurt. Xavier Legette hasn't developed the way fans hoped. Hunter Renfrow is battling personal distractions, hot and cold on the field. And Tetra McMillan, as promising as he is, can't do it alone. What was supposed to be a young, hungry receiving core has instead turned into a revolving door of inconsistency. Bryce doesn't have a safety blanket. He doesn't have a go-to guy. And every time he throws, it feels like hope more than trust. Now add the offensive line chaos. Robert Hunt out. Chandler Zavala out. Austin Corbett hurt. Every week, another body goes down. Bryce has 2,000-yard rushers behind him, but no protection in front of him. And for a quarterback who thrives on rhythm, timing, and precision, that's like asking a painter to work with a broken brush. But the bigger issue? Leadership. Dave Canales came in preaching positivity. Smiles, energy, Pete Carroll disciple vibes. And for a while, fans bought into it. They wanted to believe this was different. But positivity doesn't block defensive ends. It doesn't fix red zone inefficiency. It doesn't cover up the fact that the Panthers were inside Patriots territory 4 times on Sunday and walked away with just 6 points. That's not optimism. That's failure. Players see it. They feel it. The speeches that sounded inspiring a few months ago are starting to sound hollow. Because NFL players don't want a youth pastor. They want a leader. They want someone who makes them believe they can run through a wall and then shows them how to actually knock it down. Right now, Canales doesn't look like that guy. And that raises the nightmare question. What if the Panthers did it again? What if this franchise is trapped in the same cycle that ruined Matt Rule, that burned out Frank Reich, that's been eating at this team for years? Hire the wrong guy. Hope he's the right guy. then watch the whole thing burn when the results don't come. Because make no mistake, David Tepper isn't patient. When Tepper gets angry, he acts. And when he marched into that locker room after Sunday's embarrassment, he didn't look like an owner ready to give second chances. He looked like a man who had already started writing the next chapter. So now the question shifts. Not just is Bryce the guy, but is Canales the guy? And if the answer is no to both, how many more years of pain are Panthers fans willing to sit through before this franchise finally gets it right? The Panthers didn't just mess up on the field, they've messed up in the meeting rooms too. Let's be real. This franchise has tried everything when it comes to coaching hires. First, they swung big with Matt Rule, the so-called program builder from college. That crashed and burned. Then they went the steady veteran route with Frank Reich, a Super Bowl-winning coordinator. That didn't last even 2 years. And now, they handed the keys to Dave Canales, a coach with barely 1 season of experience as an offensive coordinator. Why? Because no one else wanted the job. The Panthers had become radioactive. Too many firings, too much dysfunction, too much owner interference. The best candidates, guys like Ben Johnson and Shane Steichen, wanted nothing to do with Charlotte. That left Canales, the man most willing to take the risk, even if it meant putting his own reputation on the line. And now, just months in, we're already questioning if he was the wrong hire. The truth is simple. Great franchises find proven winners. They pull coaches from winning cultures. They go after leaders with rings, with scars, with experience. Jim Harbaugh wanted a job, the Panthers passed. Sean Payton was available, they let him go to Denver. Instead, Carolina keeps gambling on the wrong guy, and it keeps ending the same way. But let's talk ownership. David Tepper has poured money into this team. Nobody can deny that. He's upgraded facilities, signed checks, and made big promises. But money doesn't win football games. Smart decisions do. And Tepper has now overseen 3 different head coaches in 7 years. 3 failures. That's not bad luck. That's bad judgment. Fans see it. They know the cycle by heart. New coach, new hope, same heartbreak. And every time it fails, the blame gets pushed around, to the quarterback, to the line, to the coordinators. But at the top, there's one man making the hires. One man choosing the direction. One man who still hasn't proven he knows how to build a winner. And that's the tragedy of this team. Because Panthers fans deserve better. They've watched their rivals build strong cultures and playoff runs while Charlotte keeps starting over, year after year. The Panthers aren't the Browns. They aren't the Jets. But if this cycle keeps going, they're going to be right there with them, a franchise stuck in the mud watching others pass them by. So now the pressure is squarely on Tepper. His patience is thin. His fans' patience is thinner. If Canales can't turn this around fast, the Panthers will once again be searching for their next savior. And the longer this cycle spins, the harder it gets to believe that the right guy is ever coming through that door.